Hey everybody, this is Bonnie Barker with Bonnie Bay Crochet, and I'm getting a hold on a second. All right, all right. This computer's popping up asking me questions at the wrong time. Anyway, so welcome to Friday Fun, where we just have a great social time, I think, and talk about some crochet and answer questions. And I'm going to be talking about some other things today. We might have a furry visitor in a little bit. They're over on the other side, and my son and his new beautiful bride are with us. And the bride happens to come with a beautiful little kitty cat. So I'm really looking forward to you all meeting Lumi once he makes his appearance. And also need to greet you with the Happy Pi Day, PI 3.14. For those of you, if you've forgotten from your eighth grade or ninth grade or whatever it was, math class. Um, so anyway, yeah. Well, let me go ahead and just start with the live chat this morning. Angie, good morning. So glad that you're with us. And Kelly, thank you for your pictures you've been sending me, hon. I can't wait to share that octopus picture with everybody. She made this adorable little toy. It's just adorable. And she says, I'm crocheting a doll and making it up in my own mind. Welcome to the world of designing, Kelly. She said, that's a beautiful stitch you're showing on the background. Yeah, well, I tell you what, let me go ahead and I'm just going to go ahead and start with that and get it out of the way. This is what I am making. It is still in progress. And let me show you what this is. This is the Innisheer sweater wrap. I have not added the fringe yet on both ends of the stole, but what makes this different is that it's not just a stole, but it has the back portion here that goes across your back, even though it has all the strands I'm going to show you. So as you're, wearing the sweater wrap, which keeps you nice and comfy, you also, well, let me go ahead and stand up. You also have the back covered here. So it's kind of a nice layer. Actually, it's a very warm layer, and I've got a scarf on top of that. So I am working on this. I'm gonna go ahead and put it aside. But let me just talk about the stitching a minute here. The stitches include the cable stitch, the diamond, not the diamond, the shadow box pattern, which is very similar to the honeycomb. In fact, when I recorded this, I explained myself there are two different ways that you can crochet this stitch. You can crochet as is written in the book, or you could do my slight modification, which is using front post trebles instead of front post doubles. They're much easier to work this way. And when I originally worked this, I worked this section with a larger hook. That's two sizes larger. I worked it with a K. Instead, what I've done is I said, well, you can do that, or you can work this with a size I, which is the same gauge hook that I used throughout. It just makes it easier. You don't have to worry about changing back to the hook, my right hook, and what have you. And the back, I just finished this section yesterday. The back features a single crochet ribbing instead of the post stitch ribbing. It's a single crochet ribbing where you work in the back loop, and I explain all of that in the videos. I have not edited them yet. I would like to promise this on Monday, but I can't. I'm going to say beginning early of the week. Okay. And let me one more thing. That pattern is in my book, Contemporary Celtic Crochet. I do have a link in the video description, I believe, and it's available on Amazon. Okay, here's our special guest. You're going to bring him over. This is my son, Hudson. Say hi, Hudson. And this is Lumi. Look, I just want you to get a look at his eyes. Hey, Lumi. Can you look at the kitty over here? Oh, he is not in a good mood. But look at these. Look at this. The eyes on this cat. Isn't he gorgeous? And this is the only cat that I know that has ever come to me. I walk over there, and and he will just come right up to me for a head scratch. And he hasn't scratched me yet really bad, and he
Not yet.
probably should have, but he hasn't. Yeah. So, oh, you're
Yeah.
such a sweetie.
He's a good kitty.
He's a good kitty. He's a good
Hmm.
boy too.
Oh.
All right. Thank you guys. That is so sweet. Watch out for that vacuum cleaner there. I've got obstacle. It's an obstacle course getting in here sometimes, but so that's Lumi. Why is this such a big deal? Well, we have my hair sticking out there. We have never, my husband and I have never really had. We've had pets, but they've always been pets in cages, like birds, or we've had pet rats with the kids when they were growing up, which were a great kind of animal. But we have allergies to dogs and cats. But the great thing about Lumi is he is analergic. I mean, he does not shed. Molly keeps him clipped sometimes. He's just a really nice cat and doesn't make anybody sick or sneeze or anything. So like wow, it's kind of like a magic animal. And I don't think he thinks he's a cat. He's a very compliant animal, very, very, very sweet personality. So anyway, that is Lumi. Oh my goodness, we have an extremely generous award, a gifting here. Um, Heather, thank you so very much. Let me add that to our till here that we're saving for our next donation, which we haven't done in a while. Oh, wow. So that pushes us over the edge. Um, so that pushes us up to $110. And we are going to be giving that to Rancho 3M. Okay. So thank you so very much, Heather. That is incredibly generous. And for those of you who aren't familiar with Rancho 3M, it is a Christian school as well as an orphanage near Guadalupe, Mexico. It's in one of the poorest sections of the world that I've ever personally been to. My daughter and I, back in 2006, worked on the compound there for a while with the church group. Um, Helping to build a fence. And I think I was in charge of helping to make graduation outfits, graduation gowns, and trying to use my sewing expertise, which is probably more than what the people had who were digging the holes for the post for the fences. Um, but anyway, we did that. We did some painting and lots of washing of dishes with all the people there. So, yeah, we spent some time there. It's a wonderful place. It's a place that needs prayer. I mean, these people have an amazing work going on there. Again, very poor situation. So we're really happy that we'll be able to donate a little bit into this. So again, Heather, thank you, and Terry, I know you've been a big contributor during our history here as a YouTube channel. So thank you so very much. And all the rest of you who have been so generous. Um, and let's go ahead and get back. Let me put this here. I was mentioning before the kitty came, the pattern that I just showed you is actually the cover pattern here. And what's been a little bit confusing when we published this book and I have, when you go through a publisher, the publisher does a lot that you don't have a lot to say about. So once you sign work over to them. But anyway, what happened is they had this beautiful model on the cover, but then when they modeled this inside the book, they used a completely different model and different posing, and it threw people off. They didn't show this project from the front, but they only showed it from the back. So this is the Inisheer sweater wrap. Some people thought, oh, well, where's this design? I don't see it in the book. Well, it's actually here. It's with a different model. Um, and that's the only major picture they put in there. So that's understandably a little confusing, but I'll be rolling out these videos to video tutorials, one for left-handers, one for right-handers, just as soon as I can. This is still bugging me. All right, no, I didn't get it. All right, maybe it's the hair in the front. It just looking at it, it's like that just looks weird. Anyway, all right. So let me go ahead and get back to greeting some of you folks in here. This is the main reason why we get together is to talk. Wanda Gordon, so glad you could join us today. We've missed you for a couple weeks. I mean, I know you've been busy and dealing with things, but we are so glad to have you back, my friend. And Sandra Harper, so good to have you joining us from a rainy, she says, a chilly, raining Beaumont, California. Wow. I thought it never rained in Southern California. Maybe you're not in the South. Okay, I'm a little geographically challenged when it comes to places in California, I confess. I know where the major places are, but not all. And Paula, welcome to our Friday Fun Live. And is Xavier Rose, good morning. She says, it's been a while since I've been to one of these because I've been busy with a new baby in the house. Congratulations. That is wonderful. Um, what a joy. And Alana, good morning to you. Says, hi, y'all. Good to be with you. And Kelly said they had a lot of rain last night and we're supposed to have more. Oh boy. And thanks for the reminder, Kelly, about smashing that like button, the thumbs up. I really appreciate that. We're going to be talking about some interesting things about just thinking about the bots. You know, you got to please the bots behind the scenes. We're going to be talking about some of that in a bit. And Jesse Blue Jay says, hello, all. Bonnie, I'm so happy to share. I am working on your Aaron Appeal baby blanket and getting the hang of the cables finally. Yay. I added an extra cable section and I'm a bit proud for sticking with it. Good for you. Welcome to the world of designing. It's not as scary as it may be, as it may seem. It's just yarn. You can always yank it out if you don't like it. And Phil, our resident truck driver, is saying hello from Union, New Jersey, headed to Syracuse, New York, then home. Oh boy. Well, I'm glad you're getting close to home, Phil. Um, Still got you on my prayer list. I know you've had a tough year last year, but glad you're able to enjoy being home. You're not too far from me. Union, New Jersey, I guess just a few hours, um, but it's a lot closer than when you're way out west. And yes, Kelly, he is a tractor trailer driver, one of those heroes that brings us all the things that we need through thick and thin, through pandemics and whatnot. People, just the core of our country. And Lynn Guider, so glad to have you in the chat. She says, thank the Lord for you today, Sister Bonnie, and everyone slowly working on the Fergus shrug. It's beautiful. Yay. That's a lot of cables going across there, Lynn, but you can do it. You can do it. And oh, thank you. I don't know, somebody, I don't have a name there, but thank you that you were excited about what we have in store. Um, and thank you for encouraging Hannah Lynn. You are so sweet. And Rita, hi. She says, sunny and warm in South New Jersey, making Bonnie's cable headband by request of several coworkers who saw me wearing it. Excellent. Thanks for the advertisement, Rita. That's sweet. And Barbara, so glad to have you. My Alaska friend says, hello, enjoying our increasing daylight, planting gardens, snowshoeing, and embossed crochet. Wow. So you take care, Barbara. I love interacting with you. We email back and forth throughout the week, and I get the most amazing pictures of life in Alaska and where they have to fly. They're small. Is it a 172 Cessna to get groceries? I mean, wow. Or what they don't grow. I mean, Barbara is extremely what is the word? I can't think of the word, but just just making a lot of things, both with handicrafts as well as gardening and putting things up. It's amazing. Ola Joe, welcome to the chat, my friend. I love your post. You're so creative. Um, and Jeannie, so good to have you in the chat too, my friend. I hope things are going well. Just to let you know, still praying for you and your son and family, and hope things are going, according to God's plans. Well, I know they are, but just yeah, just so glad to have you here. Hope we can get together at some point this year. And Loretha, welcome. And Heather, again, thank you so much for your extreme generosity. She says, finally catching this live. Anyone else get the new paper Crochet Nation, I got my copy yesterday and it is a lot of fun. Free patterns, puzzles, etc., all about crochet. Well, thanks for telling us about that, Heather. I've seen that in the advertisement. I should just go ahead and order that, but I was like, that would be a lot of fun, to get. And I just, yeah, thanks for letting us know about that, that it's a real thing and you like that. And good morning, Tracy Hamilton. Thank you so much for being here. One of our faithful friends. And Elise, hello to you. And Joanne, waving back at you. Um, and thank you, Ola Joe, for just greeting folks in the chat. And Jesus Joy 7 says, good day, Bonnie, Hannah, and Yarny Group. I pray everyone is doing well. I hope you're doing well. Hope your husband's doing well. Remember last week you asked us to pray, and I've tried to remember that. Hope he's recovering. And I hope you have recovered from your surgery a while back as well. And Deb Crush, is that right? Hi to you. And is it Laritha? Welcome, welcome. And again, Jan, thanks for the reminder of hitting that thumbs up button. Oh, thank you, Ola Joe. She likes the sweater wrap. So appreciate that. I must tell you all that this sweater wrap, I'll go ahead and bring it up again. Again, with all the strings so that you can see it's in process. But I was originally inspired by this by seeing one on it's off the West Coast. I think it was near Lisdoon Varna. Trying to think where it was. It's about where you would catch the ferry to go across to the Aran Isles. And these ferries were not glorified boats in any way. They were kind of like repurposed fishing vessels, rust and all. But anyway, I remember the name of the boat that we took over, and my husband's like, oh no, we're not going on that one. It's like, yep, that's the one we're going on. It was called the Happy Hooker. Not my choice of words usually for crocheters, because it's a little edgy, and I try to avoid some of that. But made me laugh. It's like, oh my gosh, that's gonna be our boat, dear. And he just like, ugh. But it was a lot of fun. That we went after we got back from the islands, or that one island, we went to Inishir Island. We came back and I went shopping at a sweater store. I promise you, I felt like I got lost in there forever because I didn't want to come back out. I wanted everything in the store. Of course, that's not going to fit in our suitcase. But I did see a sweater wrap in there, and I was inspired to do something with crochet in that same vein where you have the stole and then the sweater backing that goes alongside the back. So the idea is just like the sweater, it's like sweaters, they all have a particular shape. I can't reinvent the sweater, but I can do my own version of a sweater. So basically that's what I did. I've done several versions of these sweater wraps, and I'm thinking about doing some more of these going forward. It's been about probably a good 10, 11 years since I designed one. So I think it's time to do another one. And I think I'm going to do it with something that's very, let's just say, I'm not going to say what I'm going to do. It's cooking right now, but it's going to be an easy crochet project, and it's not going to have cables. It's just going to be an easy crochet project with a lot of color. So I'm going to leave it at that and let you think about that a while. Anyway, let's keep it going here. I want to make some progress in the chat here. And thank you again, Han. Thank you so much again for being there with us. Let me go ahead and bring up, I haven't opened up your window yet. Let me go ahead and do that. Okay, I got you, Hannah. I was a little distracted with lots of things here getting started this morning. Okay, I've got you going here. Yes, thank you. And she's telling me about Kelly's biological brother-in-law with Parkinson's. Wow. Okay, well, thanks for letting us know about that, Kelly. We can certainly add him to the prayer list. That's a big deal. All right. And again, Hannah, thank you for sending that to me. And Denise, I'm glad you liked it. She says, so pretty. Can't wait to make that. And it's such simple construction too. And you probably can tell that just by looking at it. And Ola Joe says, I need one of those. And thank you, Phil, for your kind comment there. And Carol joins us on a beautiful snowy Oregon morning. Wow. Um, so great, great, great. And Tammy says, "Good afternoon. Congrats on the additions to your family. Many blessings to come." Thank you so much, Tammy. Um, yeah, it's been a lot of fun having somebody else in the house during the day because usually I'm by myself. So I know Molly works from home. She does work pretty hard. Um, but she works on her computer, works from home for a company, so she's, busy there, but I know that if I need help with something, there's another person in the house. I don't have to wait till my husband comes home at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock or whenever. Thank you, Lynn, for your sweet comment. And Jesus Joy 7, thank you. Oh, thank you for your sweet comment. You were so kind. And Erica, hello, welcome to our chat. And Jan, welcome, welcome. And thank you, Kelly. And Ola Joe um, says, awesome super chat. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you again, Heather. Yeah, yeah, thank you. Right. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And Needful Things again says, that's a beautiful piece you're working on. I made your beautiful tree of life pattern. Oh, well, thank you. And just to be clear, yes, I did do the videos for that, but I did not design that one, but I was just really happy when someone reached out to me and said, can you do the instructional videos for that one? And I'm like, ooh, I looked at it, ooh, this looks interesting. And it's reading a chart. So you learn how to read a stitch chart, not a stitch diagram, but a chart. It's a little bit different. Um, and Lion Brand gave the go ahead, and they even sent me the yarn to do it. So but thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed that one. I certainly learned a lot from trying to understand that one. So I was on your end of that one, on reading somebody else's pattern. And honestly, I never could figure out the final rounds. And if anybody ever does figure out the final rounds, let me know. As I worked on that hard and I just couldn't get it to look right. So I ended up making my own rounds at the end. And DAC Toledo, welcome. And yeah, and yes, thank you, Phil, for that reminder. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Yeah, it's coming up on tomorrow's the Ides of March. Beware. I guess it's Monday. I guess Monday would be St. Patrick's Day. And let me go ahead and I'll just put a little plug in. This is an older design that I'm wearing today. This is the Kiss Me I'm Irish scarf or shawl, and it's an asymmetrical design. I just like to wrap it around, and I'll stand up a little bit, wrap it around and just wear it, as a decoration. But it also does help to keep you a little bit warmer. So if you're looking for just a little something, you don't want to put a full sweater on because that'll make it too hot. Just put a scarf on. And what's really nice is when you go out the door and it's really cold outside, you can put your coat on over this. This will keep your chest warm, which is part of the core of your body. And and if you get warm, you can just take it off. And if you've never seen these these little stud buttons, I have 3 of them connecting this all up. I have one in the back here too, holding the extra. Jewel Designs, JUL Designs. .com. Check her out. She has the most beautiful artisan ways of wearing scarves and shawls. In fact, I have a couple of videos with her where she's demonstrating the things that she creates. So definitely check that out. These are a staple with what I wear. I know that if I put these together, do I have another one? Hold on a second. I do have another scarf over here. I didn't plan on putting a plug in for her today, and I promise this is, I'm not making any money on this to share these with you. But when you wear your scarves, you can just leave these on, so that when you want to put it on, you just put it over your head and go. You don't have to style it or fool with it at all. And let me show you how these work. Okay, it's just this little thing in the back. It's a little piece of leather. Let me see. I can. Okay, and then you see the, this here, and it just goes through. You just poke it through gently, and it's rounded, so it's not going to hurt anything. And you just, put it through 2 layers where you want the scarf to stay. Pop this on, and you're ready to go. And it has a really pretty, she has different designs. Some are shiny, some are kind of a nickel finish. If I can try to get it to reflect the light. There we go. So, I mean, it's just a lot of fun for me to wear these. And I've, purchased a lot of these things from her just because they're just so practical. And it makes me wear my scarves more. Otherwise, if you're stuck with just a stick pin, which are pretty too, but sometimes they don't stay where you want them, or they'll slip out, or you might get stabbed by it. I mean, there are lots of possibilities with those, but these just stay in place, and I know I'm not going to lose my scarf. In fact, she started doing this because years ago she lost a very special scarf on the metro. Um, that her mother had made, and she was just heartbroken, but she lost her scarf because it kind of fell off, and she didn't know it in a rush getting in and out of the train doors. So anyway, just a quick little plug for that. I do want to tell you a big thank you. Many of you saw my video that I posted about a little more than a week ago about the Joanne store. This is not Joanne's fault. But some people have been trying to scam you all and me, people who love to do crafts, by saying 80% off, 90% off these. Okay. Okay, I think we're back again. My computer screen just went black. Oh yeah. Interestingly, we were talking about scammers. I'm glad this came back. Thank you, YouTube. So anyway, talking about Joann's stores, they're closing. As to when, I don't know all the details of that. It has changed so many times. I just don't keep up with it anymore. But do beware of Facebook scams or Instagram. Anywhere you see social media and you see ads for 80% off, don't believe it. Not yet. Don't believe it. It's not coming from Joann's. Joann's is no longer selling online. Let me say that again. Joann's is no longer selling online. Okay. I'll get to that in a minute, Hannah. So let me say it one more time. Joann's is no longer selling online. If somebody is telling you that they're going to give you 80% off on something from Joann's, it's because they're trying to steal your information, your credit card information. They're trying to scam you. So please, 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 please be aware. Here's the really good, that's the bad news. The good news is it's working. What we're doing by reporting these ads, deleting it, report, when you see them in your feed, it's helping. I have not had one of those in my feed in the last 2 to 3 days, on Facebook or in my email or anything. So that's good news. But for those of you who may be familiar with the saying that Jesus said, be wise as a serpent, gentle as a dove, we still need to be that serpent. We need to be as wise as a serpent out there, because you never know when the next scam is going to arrive. One thing you can do if you get something like that in your email, and I get a lot of, because I am kind of into public eye and I have an email. I tell you guys the email all the time, bonniebay@me.com. Anybody can send me email. And which I have separate from my personal email, of course. I get a lot of stuff that's just, and you probably get this too, that says it's from UPS and you have a package and you have to contact this information and give credit card information to get your package. You get those a lot too, I'm sure. I get those some in both emails. Always, always, always check the email where it's coming from. It may say UPS, but then click on it to see what is the real address. And if it has nothing to do with UPS, it's a scam. Just delete it, report it, put it in your junk box and get rid of it. If you're on Facebook, there's a little blue kind of a circle thing with a check. That means the seller or the person on there is Meta certified. If you go to my page, I went through the trouble to put in a bunch of information and jump through a bunch of hoops to become Meta certified. I wasn't for a while. I am now. So you know that when you see that little check, until they learn to copy that as well, you know that you're dealing with somebody who has been checked out by Facebook at least. That still doesn't mean it's perfect, but it means that you're probably okay. Um, but always, just what I would recommend you do is if you're looking for Joanne's, go to go to your search engine, whether you use Google or DuckDuckGo or whatever you use, and put in Joanne's and look it up online to get email or uh, the correct website. Okay. Don't click on links that people send you if you don't know who they are, because that could be a problem. Okay. And while we're talking about that, let's just get the newsy stuff out of the way first. I had an interesting um video come into my YouTube feed yesterday. It's by one of my favorite, she's a French designer, Anne Marie. In case some of you ever follow her, she's wonderful. And I saw something about she might be leaving YouTube. And I'm like, uh-oh, that's not good. And she explained that, well, first of all, she said it towards the end, I'm not leaving YouTube now, but let me tell you all what's going on. And she wants to stay. And I'll put my hat into that same ring. I hope to be on YouTube a long, long time. But let me tell you what's happening with some creators. There are major creators on YouTube who are leaving the platform. And let me tell you why. Um, we've talked about the scams, right? With Facebook. Well, this is not a scam so much, but you have all heard about AI, or artificial intelligence. And there's a lot going into that right now. It's one of these things where it's very helpful in some ways to help you with your workload. If you do a lot of computer work, it helps sift things down. But it also does some other things too. You can use it to create things. And let me tell you how AI does this I'm not going to get real geeky on you because I don't know enough about it to be able to do that. But what I do know is what AI does is it learns from creators. It learns from people like me and you, and then it creates something. It can't create anything of its own. It must take from other creators. So what is happening is there are people out there who are very skilled with using this, or they're using it regardless if they're skilled or not. And there are a lot of new channels that are coming up that are all AI based. In other words, they are made from taking other people's skills, talents, whatnot. And yeah, they might create different words to a song or something, but they're still taking from what other people have done and creating these videos. So what's happening is my YouTube friend, Anna Marie, she said that about half of her followers have basically been siphoned away to AI channels that are similar to hers, that are totally AI based. And if you're on one of these AI channels, and you know how nice this community is that we have right now, and I really, really love this community. And I can't go there too long because it really means a lot to me. It got me through the pandemic. Oh my goodness. So wonderful. If you are giving your time and attention to these AI channels, there's not a community there. If you have a question, they're not going to answer you. Um, just saying, just to let you know. Um, Here's a case. About a month ago, um, I saw this song, and I saw the thumbnail, and it was a picture of someone I like, whose music I like. You may know the man Ed Sheeran. He's just written some delightful, heart touching, um, love songs. He's written some other crazier stuff as well. Um, but very talented, kind of Irish English kind of themed. And I saw this song, and it had him holding a cross and a Bible or something like that, kind of making me believe that he sang in this, and it looked to me, the way they created it, like it had his image, it had his voice, that it was a song I'd never heard before. It was a beautiful song, a religious Christian song. And I'm like, what? And And then come to find out, I looked in the video description, and it was totally AI. So not only did they take his image, they also took what sounded like they imitated his voice, and they put words in his mouth. And this video, I mean, has is very close to 1,000,000 views. If you get 1,000,000 views on something, that's a lot of kashing, kashing, kashing. That's a lot of money. That means you're doing well. And not only is there one of those, there are it's been multiplying. There are other people sharing the same video. Okay, Ed Sheeran never sang it. I don't even know if he even knows this is. I'm sure he knows it's out there now, but this is crazy, and I just think it's very dishonest. Quite honestly, that was weird. Anyway, but anyway, why am I telling you all this? Am I afraid? I am not afraid. But I will tell you this: when I look at my analytics, which are the stats from my channel from last year and the year before, and I compare it, well, from like 2023 to 2024, things started going down. Um, and I looked at that and I'm like, wow, Anne Marie is right. Um, I am at about 50% of where I was a year or so ago, which is really weird. I am working just as hard to produce things and everything, but I really see that a lot of viewers are being siphoned away to these AI channels that again are not real people. And just keep in mind that material that they base it on came from other real people who are not benefiting from it. And for the record, I do not give authority. There's always a box you can check if you want to give, your information to help, with AI. And I never check that. No, I don't want my information going to AI. So I want to try to help, hopefully, keep some of my originality here and not give it to bots that are going to, proliferate and whatever. So I tell that to you just to beware of what you're watching. And you're free to watch AI channels if you want. I mean, you're totally free to do that. I mean, I'm not saying, oh, you're not supposed to do, but just keep in mind that the more people watch the AI created stuff, that is taking money away from creators. And some creators out there, that is their sole income. And if it's cut by 50%, I mean, how would you do if your income was cut by 50%? Um, it's tough. And that's why even some really good creators are just saying, I'm done. I need to go get a day job now. It's because I think a lot of it is AI. I'm pretty sure that's where it's going. Um, so where do I go from here? So if you're not sure when you're looking at something, um, in YouTube, when I upload videos, if I use AI at all, whether it's to generate verbiage, to generate uh, anything, I have to check and say, yes, I did use this, or this. I don't do that. I do it all by hand. I mean, it's just the way I do it. But you can look in the video description. And if it is AI, they're supposed to acknowledge that and tell you this is AI. And that video that I just told you about, that was supposed to be Ed Sheeran, they did get a lot of pushback from people about that, and they said now they've changed it to the original creator, but they still have Ed Sheeran's face on the thumbnail, which is kind of like it's kind of like come in, come in, come in. It's a temptation. It's lying. It's saying this is him when it really isn't. So all that to say, beware. Be wise as serpents, gentle as a dove. That's what we're trying to do here. Um, there's nothing new under the sun. But if you see that you have that coming into your feed, into your YouTube, your YouTube subscriptions, you can clean it out. What you can do is you can unsubscribe to it. Um, you can give feedback both on YouTube and certainly on Facebook. And like I said earlier about the Joanne's, the spammy stuff, you can tell when those posts come up, say, I don't want to see it. If it looks like a scam, report it as a scam. It will clean up your feed a lot. And you can do that with your mailbox too. You can put things in the junk box. You can contact people to unsubscribe. But if you don't want to contact them because that's a little risky, just slide it to your junk so that you'll never have to see it again. And then occasionally go into the junk and just delete it all. Okay. So and also I I am I am blessed, y'all. I am not suffering at all. I promise you. But I'm just wanting you to know about the AI and how it is affecting uh, people online in case you see some of your favorite YouTubers saying goodbye. That's what's going on. Um, I am doing fine. I have not missed a meal. We are very blessed, like I said, and I didn't say that in any way to ask for money or anything like that. That's not what I'm about. Um, I'm doing far better than I ever thought I would be able to do when I started writing books. I thought books were the way to do it. I quickly learned that books is great pocket change, but that's about it. Um, but anyway, just wanted to get that information out there. Um, and let me go ahead. I want to pivot to something more positive. Okay, okay, let's just I'm going to get to the group chat in just a second. And I see that, oh my goodness. Um Rita, thank you so much. And I promise you all I am not trying to manipulate you all or anything um financially or otherwise. I'm not here about the money. In fact, thank you so much, Rita. That that brings us to $130 for the Rancho 3M. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. But let's go ahead and pivot to something positive, and then I'll get back to the chat. Um, I got to visit the Black Sheep Yarn Store this week. I had never been there. I think they've been there a couple years, so it's not brand new. But I generally don't drive to Timonia, Maryland. I was dropping my son. Long story. I was dropping my son off where my daughter-in-law's family was. My daughter-in-law had four wisdom teeth removed last week, so I needed to take my son there, drop him off so he can drive her car back with her. But anyway, so I looked online and I knew there was a couple yarn stores on the way that I had never been to. So just stopped in there, no announcement or anything. I just wanted to go. I didn't go in wearing Bonnie Bay crochet or any of that stuff. And they were busy. And as soon as I walked in, I was cheerfully greeted at the door by somebody very kind and just asked if I had any questions. They'd be glad to help. Another person saw me looking around and they also reached out to me. And then I was able to meet the crochet teacher there. This place is huge on crochet. They have knit things too, but they have just about an equal amount of crochet, which really impressed me. So I had to go shopping, of course. Um, and they have a section back there where one side of the store that had some clearance items. So there was some, yarn that was discounted. There's nothing wrong with the yarn. It's just that, as seasons change. And so I found some of this. This is beautiful yarn. I got 3 of these. And this is get the glasses so I can read the tag. This is 65% organic cotton, 23% bamboo bamboo viscose, and 12% sea cell. I guess it'd be like sea plant. And this is the name of it. If I can get there we go. And each of these, this is a DK weight, so a number 3. And each of these has 306 yards, which is pretty generous. So not sure what I'm going to do with this yet. I actually may pair it with some other. I'm thinking maybe pairing it with a solid color, either a mustard color or one of the shades of greens. I'm not sure yet. I didn't see anything there to pair it with, so I'm going to just hold it and see what we can do. But it was just wanted to say it's in Timonium, Maryland. It's real easy to get to off the expressway. And if you get a chance to, go there, stop in and say hey. I do have a video on my YouTube channel I put earlier this week. I think it was on Monday or Tuesday, of just a kind of a walkthrough tour of the store. I don't talk too much about it, but I just show you a lot of what they have. And Yeah, it's a really great local resource. One thing they do, which I thought was brilliant, is they have a section, a small section of, well, about a fourth of the store, um, uh, kind of for local artisans who, maybe if you make soap or jewelry or, things that you make with your hands. It's like a mini Etsy store right there in the store. So if you're local and you want to try to sell your things, I'm sure they take a percentage, because they are um providing a wonderful service for you there to have them available, and they sell the things for you. You don't have to be there. So it's just really kind of cool that they're kind of, combining with the community at large there to do that. So if you get a chance, it's called, yeah, the Black Sheep Yarn Shop. And if you can see the address right there. So if you're in the Baltimore or Maryland area, Frederick, uh, you know, it might be closer to you than you thought. All right. Yeah, okay, and getting back to the video things, Going Green Mom says, "Remove from watch history as well, so it doesn't recommend videos that you like in the future." Yes, good idea as far as getting back to the video thing. So, again, I didn't mean to get all negative on you guys, but it's just trying to I want just we need to watch out for each other, and I'd rather you, if you're doing crochet, I would rather you be, going to other real channels like Crystal with Bag a Day, or there are so many others. Crochet with Tiffany Hansen, or I guess you have the Crochet Crowd. You have lots and lots of people who are real, and go to the real people, because if the bots they haven't, I don't know that they're doing crochet so much yet, but I think they might be, because if you see channels that maybe have just all music behind it and they're not talking, I mean, sometimes those are real people, but if you don't see a real person ever, it could be a bot. And so just be careful, okay? I'd rather you go to the channels that are reliable and that are not stealing from other people. Although some real people have stolen from me, but we're not going to talk about them. We're not going to promote them either. Okay. Anyway, okay, and Hannah wants me to, okay, I have some questions from Hannah I'm finally getting to. From Tammy, says, "What weight of yarn did you use for the green and blue scarves?" I use fingering weight. It's also called sock weight or number one. Now, that said, if you don't mind a little bit of a chunkier scarf, you can use thicker yarn. I would probably stick with 3 and below, unless you really want a super chunky scarf. And if you want a super chunky scarf, there's no rules, no wrongs there. Yeah, a fingering, do I have any to show you? No. Yes, I do. Although it's going to be hard to tell from what I just showed you. Jeannie sent me this many a while back, but this is a fingering weight yarn. It's pretty thin. Trying to get it to where the camera will catch it. Okay, so it's pretty thin. Um, but when you're crocheting cables and whatnot, it the fabric it thickens up pretty quickly. Okay. Um, and the website where I got the pins, let me go ahead and put that in the chat. It may not be in the web. Okay, there we go. I think it's jeweldesigns.com. Let me double check that. Hold on a second. Uh, yep, that was the right address. Okay. Um, is the Black Sheep manufacturer there in Baltimore? I don't know. I know that I don't think so. I know that there's a yarn called Black Sheep yarn. I think that's out west. I'm pretty sure that's not the same. I could be wrong, but pretty sure that's completely different. This is the Black Sheep yarn shop. So I think it's different than the brand yarn, if that's what you're talking about. But the shop is not far from Baltimore. It's kind of on the outer loop in Timonium. All right. Um, Let me try to catch up back to the chat. Uh, okay, I just have a couple more things to tell you. Not a whole lot. I may not be able to get to all the chat today, guys. I am so sorry. Just had a lot of newsy things to cover. Um, wow, we got a lot of new people in the chat too. Oh my goodness. Lynn, my goodness, thank you, my dear. We are gonna have a lot of money going to Rancho 3M this week. Um, that brings us up to do the math, 2, 4, 6, 8, $150. Wow. Thank you so much. So thank you, Lynn. That is very kind of you. It's going to be great for those folks in Mexico. Um, okay, and somebody there saying that they do have a channel. Oh, I wonder if that's Linnell. Is that you, Linnell? Says I found out I do have a channel, but haven't been able to add the information such as photo, etc. Still trying. Okay, yeah, I get it. I get it. It's a lot, and even once you learn it, the software engineers come up every so often. I think for security reasons, but I think for the fun of it, they like to change and make things better. So you have to put that learning cap on again and again and again. And Kelly says her sister is allergic to cats. Well, we're just jumping all over the place. Um, all right. So let me get back to the live chat because it's just kind of jumping around here. I am way behind, guys. So far behind. And Nana's kid says it always makes me sad, very sad, when someone could do that. The AI can be used for something bad and evil. Also, this is very worrisome for our futures. Oh, it absolutely is. Um, oops, sorry, hitting the table with my hand. Um, and Denise says, I don't want to be involved with AI in any way. You know, in my I'm sure it has some excellent purposes. You know, it's just like anything. I think it's maybe kind of a neutral thing, but it just seems that mankind and our fallen nature can always find, you know, how to how to how to make it bad. You know what I mean? I mean, it's just like the computer and the internet. You hear a lot of people say, "Oh, the internet's horrible." Well, actually, no, the internet's neutral, but it's what you do with it. But it just does make me sad that, um, you know, that this is taking people's livelihoods away, the smaller businesses anyway. And Going Green Mom says it's really hard to get away from AI songs from Ed Sheeran. If it isn't his channel and has his image and name, it isn't him. Yeah, yeah, it's really weird. And Denise, oh, she's from Windsor, Ontario. Wow. Um, oh my goodness, Barbara, thank you so very much. So now we're up to 160 for Rancho 3M. Fantastic. Let me go ahead and put that down. I have to write this down as we go because I don't trust my memory for a whole lot. Everything's got to be written down for me. Put Hannah back. There she is. Thank you so much, Barbara. This is going to be wonderful for those kids in Mexico. Um, Phil says, I hate AI. I call it artificial ignorance. What's kind of funny is I updated my iPhone recently and it has more of that on it. And my husband keeps saying, you can turn it off. You can turn it off. And I want to whisper under my breath, but you got to know how to turn it off. Turn it off for me. But I will send text out the door. You know, send text is right as I'm sending something out. You know, I say out the door, but hit send on my text. It'll change the word. And I'm like, that's not the word I want. That has nothing to do with what I typed, you know? So anyway, so I'm like, things like autocorrect that we enjoy using. It helps us look smarter sometimes, but other times it just kind of doesn't, because it changes the meaning, because it changes the word. So and that's part of it too. I mean, it's really nice. Some parts of it, like when I'm driving and a text comes in and I'm not supposed to look at my phone, so I can tell my, because I have a later model car, I can say, push a button and say, read Hannah's text. And then it will read me Hannah's text. I mean, that's all AI too. And that's great, because that way I can respond to my daughter if she's in an emergency situation with, being a caretaker. Even though I'm driving, I can keep my hands on the wheel and I can, still understand what's going on. And then it'll say, do you want to respond? Then I'll say yes. And it'll say, what do you want to say? And I'll tell Siri, what I want it to say. And then he'll read back to me. I have an Aussie Siri. Anyway, I love to hear his voice. um, okay. Anyway, and so he'll read it back to me and say, "Is that okay to send?" And I'm like, "Send." And then he'll say, "Sent." And then a lot of times I find myself thanking him, "Thank you." So yeah, I mean, the AI has some really good practical applications, but when you're creating things that you're taking from somewhere else and then putting it together and putting your name on it and getting profit from it, we used to call that stealing. So there are some bad things too. So I mean, and it's being used in great ways in medical diagnoses to, to aid doctors in helping to understand, things that they may miss with their human eyes. An insight, fantastic. Stealing from others and saying it's ours, no dice there, guys. Yeah. I like that, Phil. He says, I call it artificial ignorance. Yeah, it can be that way too, because it does not have a brain. It only knows what it can take. Um, all right. All right. I'm sorry. I'm going to just try to see if there's anybody I missed that I haven't met before. Um, yeah. So, and Carol Berry, welcome. She says, totally agree about AI robbing content creators. Yeah. Yeah. Just again, not trying to be negative, but it is important. It's important that we get the word out there and, yeah, and just, clean up our feeds. I need to go through mine and do that as well. I need to just do a lot of that on Facebook. If I see something that I don't like, it's just get it out of the feed right away. And we have is it Armel. She says we have the same problem in France. Oh boy. Yeah, yeah, it's everywhere. It's worldwide. Um, yeah. All right. And again, good idea going green, mom, about removing that stuff from your history as well. Well, and Jane's asking me, has AI stolen my identity? By the grace of God, not yet that I'm aware of. Um, Not that I'm aware of, but it wouldn't be hard to do if you knew what you were doing, I suppose. But I do try to be careful as much as I can. But again, we live in a world where everybody, you're paying by computer. My husband works for the government, and the government system was compromised a few years ago, and we were on the list of, his information was stolen. So I'm hoping he gets to retire at some point. We'll see. But yeah, things are compromised everywhere. You go to the grocery store, things get compromised. Just using your credit card. Yeah, it's real easy to do these days, apparently, for those who are into that. But yeah. All right. Well, let me go ahead. I have a couple of announcements. We are right at the end here. I will look through everything. Um, yeah. Let me go ahead and tell you of a couple things coming up. This is reiterating, and I mentioned this last week. If you're interested in traveling for a fiber festival, definitely, I encourage you to do it. If you get a chance to go to one that's maybe nearby, go for it. I think you'll have a great time. I'm going to be teaching. I'm planning on teaching at the Prince Edward Island Fiber Festival, October 23rd through the 25th. That's 2025, this coming fall. It's going to be at the Delta Hotels Prince Edward at 18 Queen Street in Charlottetown. So, if you know where that is, I've never been, but we're hoping to drive up to Canada for that in the fall. I'm hoping to be there. I always say hoping because you never know what illness or last minute things could happen, but I'm trusting that I'll be able to be there. And I'm also planning on being at the Pittsburgh Creative Arts Festival, August 22nd through the 24th. Um, so, and if you're interested in any of those places, I would definitely encourage you to go online and look them up, and maybe even reserve a hotel room earlier rather than later. And if you're looking at the Pittsburgh Creative Arts Festival, it's a very affordable festival. I will just say that it's very affordable. It's not as expensive as, let's say, as an interweave festival would be, even though the classes are just as good, to be honest with you. And I used to teach with interweave. I've done that a couple times. Um, so definitely check those out. Okay. If you have a question that I didn't get to and you need an answer, you can always email me, bonniebay@me.com. Just know that weekends are usually full with family. So if you're trying to get me late on a Saturday or Sunday night, I will try to get to that on a Monday. Um, just resting like most everybody else does as well. Um, all right. So I wanted to read something a little bit. Well, before I do that, let me see. Anybody else? Okay, Erica. Um, welcome to the chat. And she's talking again. I didn't mean to get everybody riled up on the AI thing, but gee whiz, it's been on my mind. Yeah. Okay. And Jesus Joy 7 says, our identity has been compromised from the healthcare industries, credit cards, government, etc. It saddened me that we had to pay for all these security services. Yeah, I am so sorry. Yeah, that is sad that happened. But anyway, one more thing coming soon. I always say one more thing, and it's usually two more. I showed you this last week. I wanted to show it to you again. This is the Phoenix shawl, and it is coming soon. Okay, so hopefully by the end of March, probably be like more like March 31st, but end of March, I'm hoping to roll this one out. 3 hanks of yarn, and I didn't get to read you the colors. This is from the Yarn Smith, and I did put her website link in there. So that's another thing. I put the links in the video description below, not AI. I put them in there, and to the best of my knowledge, they are accurate and correct. Okay, but you still be careful. You're going online. And the colors are the blue. This blue green is called Dabbling Duck. The multicolor is called Merry and Bright. And the orange color is called Mad About Saffron. So I didn't get those. Each of those has 463 yards in each hank, which is a very generous amount, which is why I could make this so much larger. And I really just love the feel of this yarn too. So the Yarnsmith, it's coming about 3 to 4 weeks. So I said end of March. It'll be end of March. Probably be like in little over 2 weeks. So anyway, well, let me go ahead and pivot to reading something encouraging. Okay, so we got lots of things we know we need to worry about, or don't have to worry about, but things that we could worry about. I want to go to a place now that will help with that. And this is from one of my favorite authors. He's a late Christian preacher from London, England, Mr. C.H. Spurgeon. Charles H. Spurgeon, and this is called Beside Still Waters. And this refers to several verses in here, but in particular 1 Timothy 2 verse 1, and it's a peaceable life. And this is how we get through our life. The Lord is my strength and my shield. My heart trusted in him, and I am helped. Therefore, my heart greatly rejoices. That's from Psalm 28:7. This passage has great charm. It is charged with softness and sweetness, like a gentle strain of tender music. I think of a battle furiously raging, and after fighting valiantly, the one whom it most concerns steps aside. He goes to a quiet, bomb proof place almost out of the cannon's roar. There he talks with his heart and forgets the raging strife. He knows his weakness, yet he has caught a glimpse of the guaranteed divine strength and thus expects a joyful victory. He is trembling, certainly, perhaps from the toil of the battle, but he also rests as one insensibly subdued to calm and composure. He rests in God. In the same way, I want you to get out of the crowd and take shelter in a quiet place. Forget the various troubles of business or the domestic cares that often harass or the inner conflict that plagues your soul. Whatever may disturb, distress, or distract, let it alone. Now, for a while, revel in the sweet peace that God alone can give. The peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds through Christ Jesus. Say to your soul, the Lord is my strength and my shield. My heart trusted in him, and I am helped. Therefore, my heart greatly rejoices, and with my song, I will praise him. Just love, love, love the words. Thank you, Mr. Spurgeon. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful week this week. Stay safe out there. And thank you so much for your love and your support. I can't do what I do without you. I say that, and it's not just, I'm not just throwing empty words out. I really do mean that. Without an audience, without people who enjoy what I do, there would be no business, and I would probably be working doing something completely different. So thank you for your generosity this week, for helping to support the Rancho 3M. And I hope to see you next week. God bless. Bye bye.